Hey, we'd like to welcome you to the MVDC podcast. I am your admin BX. I'm also here joined by admin Static Shock.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by admin Herc.
What's up, guys?
So we posted some questions on the page. You guys asked some questions what you would like us to talk about, and we're just going to dive straight into it. The first question was, these questions are in any order. What are your top 3 comic book movies of this year so far? So why don't we start with you, Static? Your top 3 so far.
All right. So my top 3 so far, my first one has to be Deadpool. I thought that was amazing. Next after that, I want to say I really like Suicide Squad, and then Captain America: Civil War. Those are my top 3.
What about you, Herc? What do you got?
Yeah, for me, I definitely would have to say number 1, Civil War, debut of Black Panther on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? Seeing him do his thing was exciting. I was actually legitimately excited to see Black Panther on the big screen. Then second would have to be I can't even choose between Batman versus Superman and Deadpool. It's really hard for me to choose between the two. So I'm gonna just, in no particular order, Batman and Superman and Deadpool. It would fill in those last 2 spots for me.
All right, I'm gonna have to go Captain America: Civil War number 1, Deadpool slight second. Like, they're just so close. I think Winter Soldier was like the greatest comic book movie I ever seen. So Civil War being a follow-up was like a no-brainer for me that I would love it. So I'm going Civil War, Deadpool. See, it's really close between Suicide Squad and Batman Superman because Batman Superman let me down. But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people seem to act like they didn't do. Like, Batman and Superman was entertaining. At the end of the day, like, even if you're a casual fan or not, or a hardcore fan, I would think that getting to see all those storylines mixed up, even though it seemed like they tried to cluster it in, will be kind of exciting because it's showing you a preview of future movies and future ideas that DC can explore.
All right, I'm going Captain America: Civil War, my number 1. Deadpool, my number 2. Batman v Superman, number 3. So, Static, what stood out for you in Suicide Squad that made you put that one on your list?
Since I missed the podcast last time of the Suicide Squad review, here we go. What stood out for Suicide Squad to me was it was entertaining. I really enjoyed watching it. You know, it was a good movie. I'm not going to say it was great. There were a lot of things they probably could have done a lot better. But I think the ensemble of the cast, I really liked El Diablo, Deadshot, Harley Quinn was dope, Rick Flag was freaking amazing. I mean, they had a lot of great characters. The story, there's a lot of chit-chat sometimes at points. And to make it seem like Joker died for that long was just kind of ridiculous to me, though. They could have brought him in and done a lot more with him in the scene. So, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a better movie than Batman vs. Superman.
So you both weren't on the last podcast. So, Herc, I'm going to ask you, what did you think of Suicide Squad?
Okay, so this is where a lot of people might disagree with me on this one, but it's only because I'm not that big of a Harley Quinn fan. But I'll put it like this: they should have called that movie the Will Smith and Harley Quinn movie instead of Suicide Squad. Like, and I don't mean Deadshot and Harley Quinn. I mean Will Smith and Harley Quinn movie. Like, Will Smith wasn't playing Deadshot. Will Smith was playing Will Smith back when he was a teenager in Philly, all grown up. That's who Will Smith was. I could have sworn that I seen somebody down the street from my old block that looked like Will Smith and had the same persona that he played in as Deadshot. Mind you, I liked the character. It was an enjoyable character, but as someone who might want to see a comic book accurate Deadshot, that wasn't it. Personally, I feel like he made Deadshot cooler than his actual comic book counterpart, but that's my personal opinion. Other than that, I feel like Suicide Squad tried to milk the hell out of Harley Quinn every chance that they got. Like, there's this one scene where they already established, okay, Harley Quinn is crazy. You don't with her. She's crazy as hell. She would do anything to get you close and then do some ninja and you up. But It was this one scene where I think it was after they got finished dressing and somebody said something about crazy and she was like, did somebody say crazy? Like, okay, we get it. Harley Quinn is crazy. Can we please get to other characters? And other than that, the movie was enjoyable. I like the characters. Some characters that I don't necessarily follow the Suicide Squad, so I didn't have any real expectations on how characters should have acted or anything like that. So I was actually able to enjoy how certain characters played out. But other than that, I just feel like they tried to milk the hell out of Harley Quinn. And I also felt like the one scene at the end where Homeboy turns into like a Aztec Mayan god and then a flame and death and then starts to fight off, like that came out of fucking nowhere for me. You know what I mean? For somebody who's never read a Suicide Squad comic in his life, and there was no type of build up or there was no type of like, you know, he might have these other powers. The only thing that they've ever shown him to be able to do is shoot a whole bunch of flamethrowers. You know what I'm saying? Like he could blow stuff up. That's cool. Out of nowhere, he turns into this magical god thing that is not explained whatsoever. It was like Deus Ex Machina to me. Like it reminded me of when Liu Kang turned into that huge dragon beast in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Like it was like holy, but even in that, at least you got some type of build up because it shows Liu Kang being told how to use his little animal form and all that shit. But this guy just, oh, my friends are in danger, beast god flame of death mode. You know what I mean? Like that came out left field for me. You know, but other than that, the movie overall was entertaining as hell. Just personally, I got kind of sick of Harley Quinn.
What do you think about the Joker?
The Joker? I mean, personally, I don't really, care too much for the Joker's character. And from what I saw, I feel like Jared Leto kind of made his character a little bit more cooler to me because it was like he was channeling this old school gangster style, you know what I mean, of the Joker instead of the loony being crazy. He was more like an old mafia boss who they used to call Hammers because he would sit here and beat you to death with a hammer. You know what I mean? That's the type of style that he reminded me of, and I feel like that was a cool portrayal of the character.
So, Static, what did you think about the Joker?
Okay, I thought the Joker was pretty cool. Like Hercules said, it was he was an old school mafia boss. Someone that, like you said, if you call him Hammer, he's gonna beat you down with a hammer. I thought it was good. He looked good. It was a new twist on it, because every Joker you got a different thing out of, from Cesar Romero to Jack Nicklaus to Heath Ledger to Jared Leto. They all have different things that you can point out in it. So I thought it was good. My only thing is if you notice in the movie, El Diablo had a build up to that point where he turned into the Aztec god. There was a build up, and that's the only thing I gotta say is they were building up to it because he was so peaceful and nonchalant and like just walking around in the movie, not trying to really be, really who he was. And then at the end, when they were in that bar, and it kind of built up that he was going to do something to protect the people around him.
I would put it like this. I thought that he was going to do something like some huge-ass fireball type thing, you know what I'm saying? I didn't expect the dude to go full demon version Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, cool. It would have been cool if he had, like, a cool feat where he unleashes his true power at the end, but that just caught me by surprise, you know what I mean? Because I thought he was just like a meta-human. So, with him to do something like that, he must be having some type of magic going on, you know what I mean? Like,
so now you both won on the last podcast. I'm gonna just ask you this, and then we can get off Suicide Squad real quick. What was the worst part of the movie for you? Like, what specific scene was the worst to you?
Okay, so what I really never got is why the purpose of showing the plane going down and then acting like the Joker was dead and not bringing him until the very end. It didn't make sense because I know they were going to kill the Joker. You know they're not going to kill him off. So why have it seem like he was gone for so long? But really, you probably could have used him in a bunch of scenes just to make the movie that much better. That's my complaint. Is why make it seem like he's dead when everyone knows you weren't going to kill him?
What about you, Herc?
It's almost as if they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do with the Joker in that movie. Like, it was like he was supposed to feature in the movie, and maybe they have bigger plans on him and Harley Quinn having their own movie together. But it's like as if after a certain part of the movie, after he was introduced and everything like that, it's like they didn't know what to do with him. But personally, my only problem with the movie that made me go like, what the like, everything that's shown me to this character not doing this is when Will Smith purposely missed Harley Quinn. Because, I mean, she straight up told him, you can have your freedom. You can see your daughter. You can have everything that you want if you shoot and kill her. Now, for them to pretty much had just met maybe like what, a few weeks before that at the most, and I think I'm being generous here, I would have thought that a cold, ruthless killer assassin who only cares about his daughter and killing Batman, and the only thing that's getting him that's in his way of getting to that is shooting Harley Quinn. I think in all rights, from what the character showed us, is that he would have shot that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, he would have thought twice about it. You know what I mean? But for some reason, I guess maybe Deadshot and Harley Quinn are supposed to have some little low-key thing going on. You know what I mean? But other than that, like that, I don't have any other moments in that movie that made me just go, "What the?"
I think they're leaving it. I think they're leaving it open to do the love angle of Harley Quinn because Margaret Robbie signed for 2 more movies, so she's supposed to get her 2 more movies. So I wonder if in one of those movies they're going to use Deadshot as a love interest. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Okay, we didn't get into this last week, so I'm gonna just tell you guys the worst part of the movie for me that not only took me out of the movie, but I was just kind of like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. When they went to place the bomb under the water, Killer Croc says, "I live in the sewers, you're just visiting, son." I don't know what type of twerk waddle he was doing when he was going in the water. After I seen that, I looked around the audience, okay? I literally looked around the audience. 2 people looked at me as I was looking at them. One guy just put his shoulders up, was like, "I don't know what to tell you." And then I looked at the other person. Their face was red. You know how hard you have to be laughed that your face turns red and you can tell it's red in the movie theater when it's dark.
Yeah.
Like they were literally just like cracking up. So yeah, after I seen that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Like, he's a man crocodile. What the freak is he shaking his? It was just bad. It was definitely bad.
It's more aerodynamic. Come on. Why you hating on the wiggle? Why you hating on the wiggle you got going on?
Is Killer Croc black in the comic books?
I think so. I've never really read a Killer Croc comic, but I think so.
Oh, I never knew that.
Has he ever had his own title?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't. I know I was in some debate on a page not too long ago, and come to find out he becomes like this huge beast thing when he eats virgins or some shit. I don't know. I was gonna look into it because that sounded kind of interesting.
All right, enough about Killer Croc. Let's move on. The podcast director is giving me the signal like, okay, you guys are lingering. All right, so the next question is, out of all the movies you've seen, which one did you hate the absolute most for whatever reason?
I would have to say XMen.
Why is that?
Only because I feel like it was one of those movies that showed all the best parts in the commercials, and I just went to go see a movie that where all the best parts I already saw, and I was just there for dialogue.
Okay, I have to disagree with Hercules. I think it's I thought it was Batman versus Superman, and the only reason is because the build-up didn't beat the hype.
I was entertained. That's all I can say. I know a lot of people were disappointed in like the Martha scene and everything, and yeah, every time because I watch Batman versus Superman daily, every day, like pretty much every night before I go to sleep, I kind of know. And no matter how many times I watch it, every time I hear "You're killing Martha," and then he says, "Why did you say that name?" I can't maintain my laughter. Like, I laugh. It's just so funny. You know what I mean? It's just so funny to me. Yeah, what like that. Exactly. Like, what the? Like, come on, Zack Snyder. Like, come on, man. Like, I couldn't see that at the edit floor and be like, that is great. Good job. You know, we're not going to reshoot that. We're not going to do that scene over again. It is perfect the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, like, is there nothing but a bunch of yes men in the room where they sit here and they watch this and then they just, like, you know, repress their laughter when he's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody was lying to Zack Snyder when he thought that was a good idea. Like, there should have been something else. You could have came up with any other idea. Like, Superman could have been like, he has my mom, or something. Anything other than trying to bank on some stupid coincidence, like both their moms having the same name. If that was me, everything that was shown in that movie showed me that Batman was bloodlusted, out for the kill, didn't want to hear no talking. Why the would you stop just because he said a familiar name? You know what I mean?
Also, being that some of the guys he killed, their mother could have been named Martha too, you know?
Exactly. Like, nobody cared about, you know what I'm saying? That then.
I think the best acting and the worst acting was in that fight scene. When he says, "You killing Martha," I understand the kryptonite hurts, but come on. That was like horrible acting, and I love Henry Cavill as Superman. But that was like some of the worst acting, that part. But at the very beginning of the fight, when Superman's trying to like calm Batman down and tell him what's going on, and he's like, "You don't understand," and Batman gets in his face. He's like literally so angry, he's shaking, and he's like, "Oh, I understand." Like that was like Ben Affleck. He showed like so much character and rage in that one scene that it was all completely taken away when they started saying Mark.
Exactly, and then they're best friends after.
I think Zack Snyder was looking at that bobblehead balls a lot of the time, and that's what asked him questions, shift the table, and they were just like, yeah.
I mean, the special edition, well, the Ultimate Edition, it does help a lot of problems. I don't think it makes it a better movie, but it does help a lot of problems. Like, I enjoyed the movie. I didn't love it, but I seen it like, I want to say twice in the theater, and I only seen it once. I didn't even pick it up yet. Been so busy, but I ordered it, and it should be here tomorrow. So, Static, let me ask you, what was the worst movie for you? Oh, you said Batman Superman, right?
Yeah, I said Batman vs Superman.
Okay, my bad. That was me. We just started rambling. If I have to pick the worst movie this year, comic book movie, I'm going to have to go X-Men Apocalypse. Apocalypse is like in my top 25. It was just a poor portrayal of him. What made sense about him is the same thing a lot of comic book movies falter in, to the fact where, perfect example, Suicide Squad, Enchantress. You can't have a character like so strong at one point and then you just neuter them for no reason. Like, it drives me crazy. He literally killed people with dust. Like, not like he was selling them like something that was crushed on with like battery acid, you know what I mean? But like, he was legitimately just chopping people's heads off with dust. And then he gets beat up and doesn't know how to use his powers. I'm like, first off, he could teleport. I think they stopped him from doing that, but then he didn't use any other powers. I'm like, I don't get it. So that movie is like literally the worst movie for me. But
yeah, that, and then the fact that the Phoenix was like a trump card that came out of like nowhere, you know what I mean? Like another trump card.
I wonder if there's a saturation of comic book movies where they're just trying to get people to the theater and they're not focusing on the story that needs to be told.
Well, regardless, X-Men is going to make money. People are going to go see it.
It did not do well. It did not do well. But since we were talking about what movies we hated, I want to get into this next question. What was the worst comic book you've read? Now, there's a lot of them that are bad out there, but just one that stands out to you right now that for whatever reason you read the whole thing and you were just completely let down.
I'm going to have to go with the new Ghost Rider, and the only reason is because it's more kid-friendly, and so it's like Ghost Rider does something and then takes his nephew out to go get ice cream. You know, he fights somebody and then it's like, hey, me and my nephew are going to go get ice cream. I mean, it's cool for kids, but for adults, man, it's kind of like we want to see Ghost Rider how we know him, not getting ice cream at your local Baskin Robbins.
Now, I only read the first volume, maybe the first volume and a half. I couldn't get through the second one because the art was so bad. But I kind of like the new Ghost Rider. Like, it's a different take on him. Johnny Blaze still exists in this universe that this new Ghost Rider is in, you know. It's not like they replaced anybody. And I can't even say nothing without giving anything away, because I did enjoy the first volume, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody that does want to check it out. But there's a few twists in there. I don't know where they go, because after the first volume they changed the artist. I couldn't even follow the book anymore, but I think it goes to a good place, if it counts for anything. So what about you, Herc? Worst comic you've read?
For me, it would have to be Battle World issue 2, where we see Blade in his original 70s attire fighting a Dracula Howard the Duck, and then meeting another futuristic Blade, like the one that looks more like the Blade that's now, and then it's like they try and give the inkling that he stole that persona from Howard the Duck. Like, that kind of, as a fan of Blade, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, needless to say, I stopped following Battle World after that. Like, I heard there were some good stories that came out of Battle World after that debacle, but other than that, you know, I just couldn't even get into the comic anymore. I was just like, this is complete trash.
I'm not going to front, now that you said that, I kind of want to read it.
Like, yeah, like it's there. I still have it, but yeah, it's never gonna get read again.
If I have to choose, I have to go one I read maybe 6 months ago. Dracula versus Apocalypse. It's a Marvel book. It's not the Dracula that went off against the X-Men or was working with Cyclops. I forgot. I only read the story one. It's the old school Dracula, and it's like in the 1600s, and he's squaring off against Apocalypse. It's literally the worst story I've ever read because it's so contrived that you think it's going in one direction. It goes the complete opposite direction, but it kind of slowly goes back to the direction you're thinking. So you say, "Oh, this is going to be good." So after I read the whole thing, expecting like Apocalypse, this guy who's here from the Celestials to bring about evolution and destroy most of the world, going to face off against freaking vampire biting him. I'm like, oh, he's going to beat the hell out of him. Oh, spoiler alert, the book sucks. I don't want to give too much away, but from beginning to end, it's horrible. It doesn't get better. So let me ask you this though. So that was our worst, but what are your top 3 story arcs? Now, I know there's a lot to choose from, but I'm talking about 3 you could just pick up and read anytime, and you'll enjoy the whole book.
Okay, so my first one is Blackest Night, DC. I read that one. I can read that one a million times and not even get bored of it. My second one is the original Civil War. I love that up and down. I mean, everything into like Siege and all that stuff. And then my third one, I know people are going to say this, but I'm a Batman fan. A lot of Batman comics I've read have been nothing but golden. So
now,
I haven't read all of them. But
now, if someone isn't a huge Batman fan, but they want to get into some real good stories, what 3 would you suggest for them to get into?
Okay, so my first one would have to be if you haven't read New 52, A Death in the Family. I really feel that one was it stood out to me. It was a good story. It involved a lot of characters and everything. The next one would be when the Joker was told in Arkham that he had cancer and he was going to die, and he wanted the world to feel his pain, so he unleashed the chemical. That one was really good. It had a lot of characters. It wasn't just Batman. It was a lot of different characters and everything. And the third one, and then the last one would be when some new Egyptian guy popped up in Gotham, and Batman and him became friends, and so Batman was starting to think, hey, maybe this is the time I can drop, the cowl of Batman and become a regular human, get married and everything, and then at the end the guy just stabbed his girlfriend. So I thought those were the 3 ones that I really liked.
What about you, Herc?
Oh, off the top of my head, definitely would have to be New Avengers, Everything Dies storyline, the Thor, God of Thunder, the God Butcher series, and then the Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Verse series. Those are the 3 that just stick out to the top of my head, and then an honorable mention of Infinity Gauntlet. Those are like the top comic books that are my go-tos.
Now, if someone wants to get into Thor, because I'll assume most people are good with Spider-Man. If someone wants to get into Thor, they don't quite know where to start. What would you say is a good story for them to jump off from?
Well, coincidentally, it would definitely be Thor: God of Thunder, the God Butcher series. It's a story where it takes place in a story where you don't have to know too much about Thor or his character. If you pick up, you would just be lost in the storyline. It's one of those stories that doesn't really go with the continuation of the Avengers or the continuation of Earth 616, so it's not really stuck in their storyline where you have to follow through X amount of issues to know what everybody's talking about in it. It's a great read. It has lots of action, and plus it features 3 different Thors. You have a young Thor who is unworthy of Mjolnir, but he still have his battle axe. You have Avengers Thor, the current Thor with Mjolnir, and then you have an old King Thor, who has both Mjolnir and the Odin Force. And we get to see this character called Gore, the God Butcher, and he's a very interesting character. I feel like he's kind of underrated because he was only featured in this storyline, but he's one of the best characters that Marvel has spit out in like a long time. And I would definitely recommend Thor: God of Thunder, the God Butcher series.
All right, so I'm gonna go my top 3 that I could read anytime in no particular order with these first 2. The Infinity Gauntlet. I would say anybody who is a comic book fan has read that. If not, they should definitely get on it. That is like one of the best stories I've read in a long time. It's one that was written by Stan Lee, and I have to double check just to make sure I don't want to say your wrong name. But yeah, so that one and Planet Hulk. I can literally read Planet Hulk plays out like a movie the entire time. It leads into World War Hulk when he comes to the Earth and has to beat some but Planet Hulk and Infinity Gauntlet are like my top two stories, and I can always read them at any time. So those kind of flip flop depended on my mood. But the third story I'm gonna go with Injustice, Gods Among Us. Starting from the first volume, at the time it was one of the better DC books out. It's taken a few twists and turns, but Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3, absolutely, I would ask anybody to read those. They'll thoroughly enjoy them. Now, if you are interested in the Hulk, a good place to start off would be Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk is like the main dish. World War Hulk is the dessert, and the cigar and scotch of it is most definitely Hulk Heart of the Monster. It's the first time you really get to see what the Hulk could do when he lets loose. After he went to this planet Sakaar, he gets strong. He's just getting stronger. He's just getting strong because he's just doing nothing but battling, and he's very angry. So he's just getting stronger. Then he comes to Earth. His strength hits a peak, but later on you find out he repressed it. He took a step and almost sank the eastern seaboard. And then later on in the Heart of a Monster storyline, he really does just let loose. I'm not going to ruin what happens, but it's worth the read, most definitely. So I wanted to ask you guys, we went over our favorite comic book movies of this year so far. We went over the one we hated. We went over you guys' thoughts on Suicide Squad, our top 3 story arcs, and the worst comic book we've read. We want to be as interactive as we can. So we asked the page if they would like to hear us break down some fights and give our opinions on it. We got all your messages, so I want to ask you guys if you could just actually go through it and pick a fight, and next week when we get together we're going to break it down and decide who would win and how. So if you got, there's a lot of fights. If you guys want to just go through and pick one.
There is a lot of fights. I'm looking at the list right now, and there's a lot. But for me, Donald Trump versus Hulk. Okay, I'm not gonna take that one. Well, no, there's Hillary Clinton versus Jubilee, Iron Man versus Team America, Santa Claus versus Scarecrow. I'm wondering if this is Santa Claus in the 616 universe, or if this is a real-world Santa Claus. Thanos versus Pee Wee Herman. I mean, if we can break that down, what's Pee Wee Herman's top destructive capacity? You know,
well, he does know magic, right?
Who, Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman does do magic, correct?
I think so. But I don't necessarily know.
I mean, let's be honest here. Pee Wee Herman might be a low-level reality warper.
Man, I see a couple fights. Punisher versus Red Hood. I think that one would be a really good one to break down. So yeah, I guess I'll pick Punisher versus Red Hood. I want to stay away from Batman versus Black Panther. And the only reason is because either way you go, you're a fanboy. You can never give, someone feels like you can never give a legitimate answer on that. So I'll take Punisher versus Red Hood.
I heard. So on you, what do you got?
I'm taking Batman versus Black Panther. That's what I'm taking.
Alright, there is a lot of them. I mean, there are shout out to everybody on the page who came through and showed some love. There are a lot of fights. So it's 230 comments, but it's not like Superman versus Thor. Some of these are super creative, and people didn't just put one fight. They put 12 fights in there. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take 2 fights, and I'm gonna ask you guys to pick one more fight. So I'm gonna choose, by Thomas Barkis, Cable versus the Justice League.
Oh,
that one.
Well, I'm glad you guys didn't pick it then. Alright, so Herc, why don't you pick one more?
I'll take Doom versus Black Adam.
And I wish I seen that one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was pretty funny.
Alright, Static, what do you got?
My second fight, man, I see a lot of them. Are we allowed to pick joke ones? Because there's a lot of joke ones I find to be pretty good.
Absolutely.
Okay, I saw Flash versus Usain Bolt. And I feel like that one, since the Olympics is around, I feel like that one really needs to be covered.
Okay. Always bet on black.
Oh, there's so many good ones. So we're probably going to just keep this at the top of the page, and we'll just come through, and even on our next on the next one, we'll just come through and pick some more.
That's going to be crazy to break down this fight.
Angela versus Wonder Woman. I don't know.
I can tell you right now, I follow Angela extensively, and she's a beast of a character. But I just don't see her beating Wonder Woman.
No, I don't either.
I don't see her beating the Queen of Themyscira. You know what I'm saying? The Amazon for Themyscira. You know what I'm saying? She needs more feats. Because she's too new of a character if you want to just go by her Marvel counterpart and not her Image Comics counterpart.
Man, this is hard. Like, I'm looking at a lot of ones that are like really, really freaking good.
Composite Angela versus a base Wonder Woman would be a better fight.
Yeah, there is like a lot of really good ones. Solomon Grundy versus Colossus. Like, come on, like I don't even know what to pick.
Yeah, shout out to all the people on the page, man. You guys did a real great job on this one. So you kind of make it difficult for us to all choose. I mean, I can guess the ones that Doom will cover if you want me to guess his right now.
I'm surprised no one picked Thanos versus Darkseid, but if nobody does, I'm picking that next week.
It's on there.
Yeah.
There's like 4 of them on there.
Oh, yeah, I just seen it. Ben 10 versus Superman. That's a really good one. All right, here we go. Man, I feel like I'm marrying this no matter what I pick. All right, I'm good to go. Deathstroke versus Spawn.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Does Deathstroke get the Godslayer sword?
Whoa, let's not get ahead of the story. I don't want to ruin, what I'm going to put together for it next week.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Oh wait! I want to pick all of them. I swear, I want to pick all of them. Aquaman and Michael Phelps versus The Flash and Usain Bolt. Like, how do you turn that one down?
Yeah, that's a hard one right there.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Michael Phelps is the real world Aquaman, and Usain Bolt.
Michael Phelps solos.
Whoa. Composite Michael Phelps. So we're going to count him when he smoked weed, and we're going to count that as like a feat.
That's like Popeye spinach, man. That wouldn't be fair. My boy was winning gold medals out there while he was hitting the reefer.
All right, here we go. I got one for Michael Crozier. John Constantine versus Ghost Rider.
Okay.
That's the one That's the second one I'm gonna go with. We replied to your comments if we chose your fight, so look for it next week. And that's all I got. You guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, I'm good. I mean, is there anything anything else that we need to cover?
Not really anything that I don't want to say for next week.
Okay, then I guess we're good. I guess we can just hold on till next week and give our answers for the fights and why we chose it.
There was one thing, but I guess we could say that for next week.
Oh, I know what that thing is. Yeah, we're definitely gonna save that for next week. And everyone who said you're interested in being an admin, I know we haven't got back to a lot of you yet, but we have not forgot about you. We're going through the names, we're compiling lists, we're comparing notes and thoughts. We are gonna make a decision soon, so we didn't forget about you.
Females, please apply. We want more women's approach on comic books and everything, okay? We got a lot of male perspective. We need some more female perspective out here.
Yeah, and thank you for saying it like that, because it would have came off creepy any other way. Like, I mean, I'm married with kids, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want it to be awkward, like, hey, you want to be on the page? Give me your information. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, no. Just, I'm a man also, but I'm just saying, as this page grows, we need more female perspectives instead of just a one-sided guys. We need something, So don't be scared to apply.
My question, did I just make it creepy by actually saying that?
You kind of, but we'll let it go this time, all right?
Yeah, let's leave it in there. Let's not even edit it out. It's just going to be awkward. So, my podcast director's telling us we got to wrap it up. He should be bleeping out the curses, so...
Family friendly.
Yeah, so you guys got any curses you want to say?
On stuff.
Alright, we all good?
Yeah, we good.
Alright, so this is Admin BX.
This is Admin Static Shock.
And this is Admin Hercules Line of Olympus.
Line of Olympus. Get him! Alright, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for spending some time with us, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Oh, like and subscribe. Stop playing.